Hey guys, it's your boy, Ballface8020, back again with another great commentary. I just can't get my glasses straight, can I? I usually don't look at myself in the mirror with my glasses on, so I guess my glasses are just always crooked. Probably because my nose is crooked. I don't know. Um, Also, I'm pretty sure my glasses are way too big for me. Should probably get new ones. So anyway, Kerrigan's back with a new video. As you can see, I'm not doing the screen recording software, which I think you guys probably prefer it that way. I'm not really certain I want to do that anymore, for two reasons. One is I'm just sick of dealing with the screen recording software, and two is I don't feel like I really have the patience to go through a video and like respond to it like as they're speaking and watching it. I mean, if I had something to say about it, I would rather just take some notes about what they said and respond to it there. So like, I know historically that's not how I've done content, and but I look back on my other videos response and I have a hard time watching them now, because it's just like, I'm like, dude, just get to the fucking point, man. I don't want to like just say what you want to say. I don't need to hear 3 minutes of Casey spurging before you respond to it. And I think there's advantages and disadvantages to both ways, but I just don't know if that's something I really want to continue to do. And I've talked about this before. When you're doing content creation, those of you who've done it yourselves, or if you ever tried to do it, it's really got to be something that you've got to be feeling it. And if you're not feeling it, you're doing your viewers a disservice. Okay, so Kerrigan is given, 5 things that girls really find attractive. It's not completely useless. It's not complete garbage. Very cliche. I don't think anybody's going to get anything out of it. But I at least wanted to respond to some points she made. So, first thing she said, I do have my notes here. First thing she says, being in shape. And she kind of conflates two things. One is she says being in shape, and then she also says, bigger muscles. They're not really, I guess there's some connection between them, but it's not really the same thing. You can have bigger muscles and not be in shape. I consider being in shape, to me, means healthy body fat and cardiovascular conditioning. Although, you could technically, I guess there's no like official definition, but that's how I would consider lung capacity, mainly somewhat lung capacity, cardiovascular health, and body fat. Being, doesn't mean low body fat, but at least, below 20%, below 20% body fat, some conditioning. It could really mean anything, but basically you're certainly not obese, at least. And I don't think to me, when I think of in shape, and she could just mean something different, that has nothing really to do with muscularity. You could be in shape with no muscles and have really big muscles and be out of shape, just like, because most women don't have big muscles, but I wouldn't say that most women are out of shape. Maybe today they are, but historically. But, go back to the 50s, right, where nobody lifted weights. And most of them, you see videos, they were in shape. They weren't like, marathon runners or bodybuilders, but they were in shape. To me, and in that sense, I think, is being in shape, if we're going to define it as like being like a normal person in the 50s, is that going to make you more attractive to women? No, I don't think so. I think what being out of shape, if it's bad enough, can make you less attractive. However, it's got to be pretty bad to get to a point where it's actually making you less attractive. Like something I know, for instance, women who they like guys like Seth Rogen, and part of what they find attractive to him is that he's carrying too much weight. A guy like Chris Pratt was the same, whereas most women I know at least, found him way more attractive when he was too heavy versus being, like the in shape Chris Pratt now. That doesn't mean that, you should deliberately be too heavy or that it's going to work for every guy. Those guys, I think, when you're a bigger guy, you have more leeway. But it kind of goes like, he's like the teddy bear type. It's about what fits your personality. But so now if those guys weren't just fat but like morbidly obese, then yes, that would make them less attractive. So it depends. It's too broad a thing. There are potentially good reasons to get in shape. It could make mental differences that could help you. I do think you'll mentally feel better if you're in shape. And I say this as somebody who doesn't exercise at all. I eat like trash and I don't exercise because, whatever. But I do think, and I might start, I might talk more about food like this next week or the week after. Sometime, I'm sure I'll talk about food again. But I do feel better when I'm eating healthy. So there might be something for that, but is it going to make you any more attractive? No. The actual being in shape, no. Again, being grossly out of shape will hurt you. Being in shape is not going to make you more attractive. She mentioned once, and she said muscles make women feel small. The thing is, I'm not convinced women want to feel small. I think they want to feel short. And that's the first problem. Second of all, even insofar as women do want to feel small, muscles are only going to make a minor difference. Like there, what's going to make women feel small is not so much muscles as a big frame. Like somebody like me, like even if let's forget somebody like me. Look at somebody like Frank Zane. Okay. He who had big muscles, relative to his pretty shitty frame. And 5'9", shitty frame, but big enough muscles to win Mr. Olympia with the help of anabolics, of course. And a guy like that's not going to make women feel small because he's just not a big guy. He's in terms of frame, he's a little guy. I mean, maybe not that much below average, but he's a little guy. So that goes even more for somebody like me who's got an even worse frame than him. So and then there are people out there with worse frames than me. Like, let's say that is what women want. They want to feel small. I would say if you're built like me or worse, that you're just out of luck in that frame. You're nothing. Lifting weights and getting bigger is not going to make you still won't be able to make women feel small. Insofar as women even care about that, and I'm not really convinced that they do at all. Now wanting to feel short, that's different. And the ones who do want to feel small, that tends to often be because they themselves are obese, which nothing wrong with that. But I'm just saying that those would tend to be the ones who more want to feel small as opposed to just wanting to feel short. Also, women are really stupid, and they just think, like taller does make them feel small. Like maybe it is true that they want to feel small. It's just that they just for women, size and height are the same thing. So if you're taller, it makes her feel small. If you're not taller, even if you're built like Ed Cohn, who's only 5'6.5", you're not going to make her feel small because you're not tall. So maybe that's how it is. She's also said it will increase your masculine frame. No, it will not. I've lived my life in two different ways, lifting weights and not lifting weights. And I can say with total confidence, there is zero difference in my masculinity from when I'm lifting and working out and when I'm not. You could maybe say I'm more masculine when I'm not lifting weights. That's the only thing, because I'm not thinking about it. But no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Even if it was true that lifting weights is going to make you more attractive to women, which it's not, but let's say it was, what definitely won't happen is it'll increase your masculine frame. No, it will not make you any more masculine. Absolutely not. And you'll make you look more healthy. Again, looking healthy is being at a healthy, if you want to look healthy, if that's the goal, is to look healthy, be at a healthy body weight and eat healthy. That's going to, for most people, is going to make you look healthy. getting to a really low body fat, or getting in great cardiovascular shape, or building big muscles, those things will not make you look more healthy. There's a very good chance that any of those are going to make you look less healthy. Okay? The looking healthy is not very difficult. It's really just a matter of eating right and not being too fat. That's about it. So, like, will looking healthy help you attract women? The healthier you look, the more attractive you will be. But that, I mean, again, if you're ugly and healthy, you're still going to be ugly. You might have, like, again, if you're really healthy, you might have a bit of a glow that some people might find attractive. But I mean, it's not going to make a huge difference. It's like, I mean, I would say the same, like, just like adding muscle isn't going to make a difference in attractiveness, SMV, for most guys, but it will make a difference for a certain type of guy, a guy who's maybe like 6'3" but 130 pounds. That guy, if he adds 50 pounds of muscle, is going to be a lot more attractive to women, because he's going to finally be making use of his height. In a way, but whereas if, like, a 5'7" guy adds 50 pounds of muscle, no, that's not going to make him any more attractive at all. And the same type of thing. Looking healthy will increase your can increase your SMV, and I would actually say, in terms of natural ways to increase your SMV, looking healthy is probably the best. But it's not going to do too much. I mean, unless there's that underlying, good looks underneath. So, I mean, all for it. There could be reasons. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference, but I guess it is at least worth mentioning, so it's not useless in that sense. But she was all over the place with that. Next thing she says is facial hair. I disagree. She says next that most women find facial hair attractive. No, I don't agree with that. I think they find it attractive on certain guys. I think, like Chris Hemsworth, he's an attractive guy anyway, and there's a lot of women, maybe most women, who think his facial hair makes him more attractive. But I also know that there's going to be a lot of women who think he's more attractive without facial hair. And I would generally say that women like clean shaven better if the face is attractive. It really varies on the woman. It's really a matter of preference and taste. So I disagree. And again, it varies per person, because Casey, he's wearing the facial hair now. He looked way better before. He looked way better before the facial hair. I mean, he was a handsome guy before the facial hair. And yeah, I know he's older now, but the facial hair doesn't work for him. And it will work for some guys. Now, if you want to take like a guy who facial hair really works for, it would be somebody like James Harden, because his lower third is trash and he looks kind of weird when he doesn't have the facial hair. So he beard maxes and it works for him. But that's not every guy. It's not most guys. So yeah. Then she says dressing well. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. And then she says it will increase your confidence. No, totally disagree. I think, I come from a family where, you guys see me, I'm a horrible dresser. And my siblings, though, are not, I mean, if you met my siblings, I think you guys would have a hard time believing they're related to me, because they're very different than me. They're successful. I'm not. They have families. I don't. And they're great dressers, and I'm a slob. But here's the thing. They're really good dressers. But all they're doing is dressing like the way that's natural for them. It just so happens that the way that's natural for them is really good fitting clothes and, matching things and everything that goes together well. It's something that they're naturally interested in and that they naturally understand, and it works for them. Somebody like me, I have no interest in fashion. So if you see me dressed up, if you see me and this is something that, people have pointed this out to me, even as late as middle school, when I'm dressed up, fancy or something, fresh out, showered, shaved, wearing a suit, I still look like a slob, just I'm because it's just that's just who I am. And and I can't sustain it because again, it's not the natural way that I dress. And so for me, absolutely, it wouldn't make me feel less confident because anytime you're not being yourself, no, that's cliche, and we can debate where that starts and where that ends. But when you're not behaving in a way that's natural for you, that will decrease your confidence. It will make you less confident. So even if it's something that's important to you, like impressing other people and stuff, like it's going to make you more attractive to women. We'll talk about that in a sec. I don't think it's going to work because if it's not natural to you, it's just people are going to instinctively pick up on that, and you're gonna be very aware of it. As for like, will women like it? No, I don't think it makes any difference at all. I don't think it makes any difference. I mean, maybe in a certain social class, but I don't think women care. I don't think women care. You can be a total slob, and no, they don't care. At least not from whatever I've noticed. Next thing she says, good hygiene. This is kind of like the being in shape one. Bad hygiene is going to make you less attractive. Women really don't like it when you smell bad, understandably so. But good hygiene is not going to make you attractive. It just means that you're not going to be repulsing them with your stench. So insofar as you want to have any chance at all, yeah, have good hygiene. But don't think that there's a difference between saying having bad hygiene makes you less attractive and saying good hygiene makes you more attractive. It's like, yes, bad hygiene makes you less attractive, but you're not going to be more attractive just because you have good hygiene. It doesn't work like that. So I'm all for it. And then she actually mentioned stuff like, wear cologne. I've never worn cologne, like even once in my life, so I don't know. From guys I know who've worn it, I've never heard them say any. I mean, I guess I've never asked them just because I just assumed, but I've never heard them say that cologne attracts women. So I don't think I know there's some studies saying that like certain smells can trigger attraction in women, but if that's true, I don't think cologne can do it. I really don't. So I don't believe it. I don't think cologne's going to help. She also says wear deodorant. I'm a bit of a skeptic here. Like if you're washing properly, yeah, I mean you're going to smell okay. You're going to smell fine. You don't need to have deodorant. So you would only wear deodorant if you were going to be sweating a lot during the day. The thing is, I'm not convinced that if you put deodorant on and then go sweat a lot, that you're not going to still smell horrible. Again, if you're smelling that bad from sweating, I'm thinking it's more of a diet problem. I mean, it could just be your genetics, but I'm thinking maybe it's more of a diet issue. I don't know if deodorant's going to help. I mean, you can try, but I mean, it's all that aluminum on you. I don't know if it's healthy. I don't know if it's going to make a big difference. Then I'm being serious, and you guys can go watch the video if you don't believe me. The fifth one she says is, and she goes with the caveat, this is going to piss a lot of people off, height. I'm serious. She says height, and yeah, that will piss a lot of people off. And I was more just kind of like, okay. I mean, at least it's true, right? But she was saying, well, there's things you can do to make yourself appear taller, just like girls wear makeup. I guess. I mean, I'll tell you what, guys have been height frauding forever. So, I mean, I don't think the makeup thing's a bad comparison because, like Frank Sinatra height frauded, Jim Morrison height frauded, Ron DeSantis height frauds. I mean, guys have been height frauding forever. So, yeah, I think a makeup comparison is good. The difference is, like, okay, maybe like with some super exotic professional makeup is one thing, but generally the normal amount of makeup, even like on the heavier end of makeup that you see with women, if she's attractive without it, she's going to be attractive with it. Maybe not as attractive, but attractive nonetheless. Particularly in pictures, she won't look as good. But even with, like, she'll look still good without it. Whereas depending on how much you're height frauding, I mean, you're going to look a lot less attractive, and it's going to make you more mindful of it. And it's just be like, so like, I mean, how much are we height frauding here? You're going to make like 1 inch lifts, 2 inch lifts, you know, you're going to wear 3 inch lifts. And, like, you can do it, but I mean, look, height frauding probably is going to make you a little more attractive. So I guess that's good advice. But again, even that kind of depends where you're starting. It is similar to makeup. Like if you got a woman who's ugly as shit, wearing a lot of makeup isn't gonna help her SMV much or even at all. Similarly, if you're 4'9", height frauding by 4 inches is not going to make you any more attractive. You know, it's just you know, you're still only going to be 5'1", so who cares? You're not as short, but you're still short. And but similarly, you could have a woman who's maybe a 5, and you know her makeup's done well, and she's a 6. And similarly, you could have a guy who's 5'8", and you height fraud by 3 inches. All of a sudden, he looks a lot better. So I think that's actually okay advice. I think that there is something to it. Would I want to do it? No, I would never do it. First of all, I'd feel ridiculous. Second of all, it's just like, well, again, I'd be worried about like what happens when you take the shoes off. You know, and I mean, are you just going to wear shoes? Are you just going to wear shoes around her all the time? Because I don't wear shoes indoors. So yeah, like when you're out and about and stuff, you can do it. For me, just like most things, anything that's like not like anything that's like putting on a facade that's not who I like really am makes me less confident. But that's just because it makes you less confident doesn't mean it makes you less attractive. So yes, it will increase your attractiveness level. I mean, or it can at least. I wouldn't recommend it. It really depends. But I don't think that's useless advice. So overall, not a completely useless video, mostly useless. Some stuff in there you can work, especially the height thing, which I thought was ridiculous. But the more I think about it, it's kind of like, no, I don't think you should do it. Yes, it probably more than anything else can change your SMV. And that's not even getting into leg lengthening surgery. Imagine if you did 3-inch leg lengthening surgery or 3-inch lifts. You know, you'd be at you know, that would raise your SMV a lot. You know, if we're being honest. That's all for now. I'll see you in the next.